Good evening, everyone. Good morning for those stateside review replay viewers. I am in District 1, Saigon. Hello, Vet Vietnam. I'm in District 1, Saigon. I'll do a little bit of walking around. A similar but not same track as I did last night. This is the first time that you're hearing from my channel. I do live in Vietnam. Hello, Vet Vietnam from Florida. I am originally from Florida. Which part of Florida are you from, Vet? I am making my way around District 1, checking out some of the decorations. It is Venice. It's a small world. I have family in Venice. But my latest home was Panama City. But I lived in Venice for some time. Yes. Now I think my family moved from Venice to Sarasota. And I think I have some family still in Inglewood. So, those of you who are just joining for the first time, I am an American that lives in Vietnam. I've been living here for 2 years nearly. I teach at an international school and I scope when I can. There are so many cultural wonders in Vietnam. And I think a lot of people have this vision of Vietnam being a war-torn country. But it's just not that anymore. That's just what we see in the history books. That's not the Vietnam that exists today. So I'm here to break down those barriers and show you guys the beauty of Vietnam. The beauty of Vietnam. I found out walking through District 1 at night yesterday that the palace, this is where the war ended. Thank you so much for the hearts. This is where the war ended, right here at the end of this boulevard. That palace is not illuminated at night right now. I have no idea why. In the past, it's been illuminated at night. Just at the end of this way here. You do have it in English. Happy New Year. And if you want to go with the local nomenclature, thank you so much for sharing that on Twitter. If you want to go with the local nomenclature, I've actually just seen it somewhere. Let me see if I can find it again. Happy New Year is, of course, the English version. Chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới is the Vietnamese way of wishing someone Happy New Year's. Guys, I will walk for about 30 minutes, just to give you an idea of what we will see. We have the decorations that are here near Nha Cha Duk Ba, or the famous cathedral that's in District 1. And then I will make my way to Nguyen Hue Walking Street, which is now the Flower Street during Tet. So if you want to invite your followers, share with Periscope or Twitter, that would be much appreciated. I love answering questions, especially people that don't know about culture in Vietnam. Many of the decorations are, of course, the lotus, which is what this roundabout is decorated as. This is the famous Diamond Plaza. It is the old face of commerce in Vietnam. Before all of these new skyrises they have, there was originally Diamond Plaza and Vincom Center. Vincom Center is just our right. These are the originals. Welcome back, Dean. Thank you, Dean, for watching my replays and sharing my scopes. I do recognize these things after the fact. How are you doing? There we go. Here's the Vietnamese. Chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới. Tet is in full force here. We are just 2 days away from the main day, the main holiday. Welcome, Ryan, your first day on Periscope. Yeah, of course, there's plenty of changes. Thanks again, Dean. I always appreciate you sharing and supporting. Dean, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you used to watch my channel before when I scoped last year and the years before, the years prior? We're gonna make our way to the walking street. Now, last night I started on the literacy street, which is on the other side of this cathedral. This is Nha Duk Ba, or Notre Dame Cathedral. The French left it behind. Last night I spent a lot of time walking around the cathedral and down this boulevard, but we found out the hard way that the palace is not illuminated. So tonight I will walk to the Flower Street, which is Nguyen Hue Walking Street. And if we still have time in the scope, and there's a lot of people following and watching, then I will probably walk to the Japan district. Really? I think you mean in 2017. It's been that long. It's been that long. I really appreciate you supporting. So guys, we do have some street food here. This is Beng Ken Nuong. They'll take this rice paper and they'll put all of these meats and the sausage and she'll grill it right here. That's what I like to call Vietnamese tacos. Usually this sidewalk would be full of people, but we are getting closer and closer to Tet. In a sense, Saigon is a city that does not sleep, at least District 1 is. You can find people crowding the streets up until about midnight, 1 o'clock. We are making our way to the famous, there are two palaces within a couple blocks of one another. We're making our way to the I guess one of the visual representations of Saigon, Vietnam. One I scoped this morning. If you check my replay reel out, I scoped the Binh Thanh Market. Binh Thanh Market's been there one way or the other for about 130 years. We are going to walk to one of the two palaces that are within a few blocks of one another. The other one is not illuminated, but the one we are going to is very well illuminated. If you just Google Saigon, Vietnam, it's going to be in the pictures. Another thing that will be in the pictures is this very, very old post office. Post office right here. French architecture. District 1 is full of French architecture left behind. There we go. Hello, Im Juds. Guys, anytime that I'm walking and talking and talking and walking, I don't really like to turn on the camera without something to say. So I will talk continuously. It's my profession to be a teacher, so I'm used to talking. But if you have questions about living in Vietnam, traveling in Vietnam, or just general random bits of knowledge that you'd like to know, feel free to drop them in anytime. We're gonna make our way through the tunnel of lights here, going to a very expensive display of flowers on Nguyen Hue Walking Street, or Pho Đi Bộ. If you guys happen to have a following on Instagram or Periscope, I encourage you to share it. I have to admit, I have scoped hours and hours and hours of travel scopes, culture scopes. It's much more interesting when there's people in the scope. Although I scoped in Rome without people. 100% zero people the whole time. I did it just for the replay viewers. Guys, they're not gonna miss a chance to have their propaganda advertisement, but this is also a Wi-Fi hotspot. And there's brochures that's supposed to be here for the tourists. So Vietnam is keeping up with the 21st century. Although they, as I've already alluded, will not miss the chance to mention the greatness of Vietnam. Motorbikes are the way to go if you move here, or if you just rent one while you're traveling. Part of the reason is they go everywhere. You can get a car if you want to, but it's also a quick way to have a heart attack if you're not used to the traffic. Here we go, guys. If I were watching me and I stole a screenshot, it would be here. Here's your chance. No one? Anyone? No screen? Okay. Hey, you had your chance. I don't know if any of you were in last night's scope, but It's nice not to be followed tonight. I was followed by a young gentleman yesterday. You can usually tell people, I just had little kids say hello to me in English. You can usually tell people that are from the city and ones that are from the village. People from Saigon will not greet random strangers, but people from the villages are still a little bit amazed to see Westerners, foreigners. Oh, there's a cute baby. So cute. We're making our way to one of the historical landmarks in Saigon, Vietnam. I would say in all of Vietnam. Times Square is the namesake of Pho Đi Bo. While we have a little bit of space here to walk under our tree of lights, I did scope this morning. I walked through a famous park that has a great display of flowers. I walked through Chap Bin Time. Oh, je t'aime. So cute. I walked through Chap Bin Time, the famous market in Saigon, District 1. That's on this morning's scope. Or if you're in America, that's last night's scope. One person here from Italia. I did a lot of scopes in Rome. A whole lot of scopes in Rome. I was scoping 3 or 4 times a day, sometimes an hour and a half at a time. So in this broadcast we will see a few very important buildings, 2 of which we've already passed. Post office and the cathedral. And here's another one. A symbol of prosperity for the Vietnamese. Prior to them becoming a truly 21st century city, building several skyscrapers, Vincom Center and Diamond Plaza, those were the buildings. They were the symbol of prosperity of Vietnam. Now there's many of those symbols. The third building that we'll see tonight is going to be Vitesco Financial Tower. It's the building that is shaped like a boat. We'll see that right when we get over to the flower/walking street. You can easily jaywalk here, but as traffic is much worse than usual, for Tet, I'm not going to brave it. You'll see that it is red for them, but they're still going. But at least some of the people have stopped. They do frequently drive on the sidewalks, as you see over and over again. Many people ask me why the police don't crack down on people driving on the sidewalks. I think they try to crack down, but it's nearly impossible when everyone does it. You can see the crowd of people in front of me, which means that it's going to be nearly impossible to walk on the Flower Street. I also expect that my phone will have much worse signal as we get closer. Guys, if you love Vietnam and if you love travel, in my recent replays or in my last few replays, you will find videos of Vietnam. Prior to that, you can find Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. You can find Miami, Rome, Milan, Verona. You can find places in Germany. I really love to share scopes when I can, especially when I travel. And there's a whole lot of those on my replay reel. I have left 111 videos up. That is not how many scopes I've done. I've scoped way more than that. Here we go. It sounds like there's a concert going on tonight. Maybe we'll get like some live concert viewing. Alright. We're trying to make our way through the chaos. You can see cars are just coming, or motorbikes are just coming and coming. Coming. Okay. There's hard and then there's impossible. There we go. Thank you guys for joining me live. If you have followers, if you have friends, if you have a special someone, share it with them. Share it with them. I've never met someone that was like, oh my God, I hate your scopes of Vietnam. Thank you guys for the hearts that are trickling in. It is a nice way of me knowing that you guys appreciate what I'm showing. Here's another street food. This is dried squid. She'll take the dried squid, she'll crush it, and then she will grill it. And you eat it sort of like beef jerky. Yes, it is a traffic congestion. Deeply congested traffic right now. Temperature at the moment is 28 degrees Celsius. Here's another one. It's called Gavian Chien or Bongian Chien. It's basically meatballs. She'll fry them right there in the grease. Please notice that everything is right on a motorbike. She is Meals on Wheels, literally. Ice cream on wheels. The crime in Saigon is relatively low, especially in the violent crime area. However, I will say, petty theft is a big deal here. So crimes of opportunity. Be careful with your belongings while you're here. You're not likely to see a gun, but you are very likely to be pickpocketed. Landscape mode, please. Listen, I will do so because you have a super fan. Super fan. Never do this. I wouldn't do this again. Going from portrait to landscape and landscape to portrait. I swear I would never do that. But I've done it just for you, my super fan. Here we go. There is an illuminated, of course, there's an illuminated house. The other one, of course, was not. It's still used for government functions, although I'm not 100% sure what those are. I will try to remember in the future to start in landscape so I don't have to make a video with two different modes. You actually can go up here. You notice there's people in the middle. However, this is a shrine to Ho Chi Minh, so there's a lot of respect involved. Please understand when you come to Asia that you must respect local customs and cultures. You may think that's imperialist. Well, guess what? That's because it is. You see the police standing around Ho Chi Minh. Do not disrespect Ho Chi Minh in their country. Police are not aggressive, nowhere near as aggressive as the United States, nowhere near. However, when you cross the line in regards to respect, you're going to be unpleasantly surprised by just how forward they can be. This is the famous walking street in Vietnam, which took years to construct. They absolutely have spared no expense. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful layout, structure. The money that they spent on the trees and the walkways. There's several fountains involved. And here we go. Should we start getting some of these flowers? Guys, for those of you who are coming in and out, anytime you have questions about living in Vietnam, traveling to Vietnam, or just general ideas that you're not sure of, feel free to ask. I've been here for nearly 2 years. I also traveled here extensively before moving. Welcome, good. Oh, I thought that said something else. Welcome, good. Welcome, good. There we go. This is your second opportunity to get a great screenshot. If you miss, you miss. Wait for the flag to wave. Wait for the flag to wave. Right here? No? Oh, that's where I would have grabbed the shot. I do have still shots on my Instagram. Guys, I'm a photographer first. Photographer first. I've shared so many Periscope videos. However, photography is my true passion. So on days when I'm not scoping, I am taking still shots. So feel free to check out my Instagram. It's the same name, Joshua J. Harris. My website's also joshuajlowry.com. Although I've just started this website, so don't put too much camp into that one. Here we go. This is the Times Square Fodibo. These are the traditional trees and flowers. Many Vietnamese people taking selfies. If I see the traditional dress, Ao Dai, I will be sure to point it out for you. Welcome, Enjo, to your first day on Periscope. I always love when I see that pop up, because I think you're seeing something that's worth quality, not, I don't know, weed scopes and whatever you see at late night in America. Here we go, guys. It's being blocked by the construction for the metro system, but that is the famous Upper House, another piece of architecture that has been left behind by the French. Here we go. I promised to see some, or to show you some famous buildings. Here's the other one, the boat-shaped Tesco Financial Tower. This was the icon of Saigon. Now they've built an 81-story structure called Landmark 81, just one district away in District 2. I am in Central District 1. This is the main boulevard. This is the main boulevard and artery for District 1. It will lead you to Chut Minh Thang, which is in my scope from this morning if you want to watch the replay. Chut Minh Thang is just over the distance here. We're not going to walk that way in this scope, but it's just in that direction. This artery, when the street is open, this boulevard is absolutely beautiful. However, it's being constructed. The construction for this metro system is at a standstill. They ran out of money. Of course, that Vietnam. I hope you join me in other scopes. Hit the follow button on the way out. I'll try to scope more often than once a year. There we go, guys. I will tell you in advance, experience has taught me that going down the street during this time of year, I will have shoddy internet connection. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the front. I'm gonna show you the main pieces, and then we're gonna leave. We're gonna go to the side. Appreciate it, Ben. Here we go, guys. It is the year of the pig. It's a good string for another way of saying the new year. Think. I don't know what that translates to. I've heard other people say it. You guys, I screenshot way more than you do apparently. Year of the pig. Fun fact about the culture: everyone turns the next age on New Year Day, Lunar New Year's Day. Guys, it's just easier to say Chinese New Year, but what they literally mean is following the lunar instead of the solar system. I guess it's a way of looking at it. Lunar instead of solar. Here we go. So, just a couple days a week, this street is completely shut down for walking. I'm actually walking on a street. You can see the lines. This is an actual street for vehicles, but it's shut down a couple days a week for walking only. Later tonight, there will be cars on it. They've just shut it down for a couple hours. All 12 of you that are here, if you have questions about living or traveling in Vietnam, feel free to drop them in anytime. You can also tweet me if you'd like. I don't have notifications for Twitter, but I will respond when I can. My Twitter name is Vietnam Josh. Very simple. My name's Josh. I'm in Vietnam. Easy to remember, right? Vietnam Josh. My website, my Instagram, and my Periscope are all my full name, Joshua J. Lowry. My Twitter would be as well, but apparently someone already took that name. Hello, Jamie. Also check out my Instagram for still shots of Vietnam, Europe, United States, extensive traveling. So what we are making our way to right now is actually a literacy street. They have decided to partner with bookshops They have the floral arrangements and they have the bookstores that have set up. You do see quite a few pro photographers here tonight. I do have my professional camera with me, although I haven't taken any still shots tonight. I was actually with friends earlier today at this very cafe. Here. Way earlier today. Here we go. Symbols of... That's a nice still shot there too. I think it notifies me when you... hello, Los Angeles. How's it going, Denise? I think it notifies me when you screenshot, and you guys definitely screenshot less than I do. There you go. So these are just floral arrangements with pigs shoved everywhere they can put them, because it is the year of the pig. Pig can be said two different ways. Con ham, which I think is just pig, and con lung, which is like a large pig or a wild boar. Is there a good bit of freedom, or do you need to be careful because of the communist government? Believe it or not, communist on paper, but it's just like America. It's capitalist. Money runs everything. I do not feel the wrath of the communist government on a daily basis. The only time it feels communist is when you get pulled over for being Western and then having to do a bribe to get out of it. Once you're on the side of the road, you're on the side of the road. The only thing that's going to get you out of it is money. About $10 to do the trick. Here we go. Guys, without standing, so I live here. I live here, Denise. I teach here. Teach at international school. I do appreciate the share, Denise. I did see that pop up. I really do appreciate you sharing that out. It's much more relaxed than in times past.
I don't know why.
Even I had the discussion with Vietnamese, by the way. I had that discussion with other Vietnamese individuals. If it's different because I'm a foreigner, and they've said the same that I did, that the communist government doesn't necessarily affect or impact their daily life. The only time that I have run-ins with that is I am a global perspectives teacher. Global perspectives. I teach Cambridge Global Perspectives at an international school. Full national influences. So one thing I do have to be careful of is any sort of speech or direction that may be considered or construed in any way, shape, or form as anti-government sentiment. Here we go. Welcome, Ivan, to your first day on Periscope. I think you found a good scope. We're in Vietnam. It's Lunar New Year, Year of the Pig. The namesake for Vietnamese is Tết. And if you want to say Happy New Year's, if you want to impress your friends, say Chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới. You can see all the Vietnamese turning their heads because I am a Westerner saying this, and they're kind of surprised. I haven't seen too many traditional Ao Dais, but here's a family of them. This is the traditional dress of Vietnam on Ao Dais. Yes, I know skiing because my family's from Orlando and Kissimmee. I was born in Orlando, so I definitely know about the Vietnamese sentiment in Orlando. And Houston, and California. Do we have a U.S. embassy? Denise, it's a great question. We have a Houston, yeah, a lot of time in Houston. So our consulate, it's not the embassy, our consulate, if you see that palace right in front of me, and you go 2 blocks that way, if you look at the beginning of the scope, it's sort of behind Duc Ba Cathedral, or the Notre Dame Cathedral. It's not quite behind it, but it's right there. It's right there. Now the actual embassy itself, the real embassy, is in the capital in the north, Hanoi. Thank you guys so much for the hearts. I really do appreciate it. I think it may look like up to 250,000 hearts, but those are hard earned, and it's definitely a way of me gauging what you guys like and do not like. I've learned from hundreds and hundreds of videos, that asking you over and over again doesn't help. I can say, hey, do you like it? And you just won't say anything at all. Humble, kind, and indirect. Yes. Someone did their homework. Someone remembers yesterday's lesson. Guys, I actually finished the scope yesterday from outside the barrier. I've never been to that one of these. I finished the scope from outside the barrier. They've taken the barriers down tonight. And I went to the apartment cafes up here. I also do Instagram live videos. I haven't fully committed to one or the other, but I have 9,300 followers on Instagram and I have 800 followers on Periscope. So just simple math there. I gotta speak to my larger crowd too. So if you're like, oh my God, I'm not seeing enough videos of Periscope, then you have to go to Instagram and turn your notifications on. Or I will actually advertise when I'm gonna do Instagram Live, because it's much different than Periscope. They don't notify all of your followers. So it's up to me to let you know when it's gonna happen. Guys, if you're gonna travel to Vietnam and you want a great experience, I think you're right. Finicello, if you look at my replay reel, I have over 100 videos, and that's just the ones I've saved. You're right. And last scope I did was 14,000 people. So I used to get featured quite a bit from Periscope, and that's great. However, I have spent so much time and energy into building a following in photography, which is why I have 9,000 there and 800 here. I will try to keep up with both of them from this point forward. I'm at a better point in my at my school right now. Guys, these cafes are built out of a apartment complex, an old apartment complex. If you're going to travel here, it's on the walking street, and I recommend you going to any of them, because they plan on tearing this building down. That's the word, to build another one of these modern buildings. So go to one of these. Last night I went to the 8th floor. I don't even know the name of this place. Delight Cafe. It's on the 8th floor, and I climbed the stairs. So by the time I was there, I didn't care what the name was. I just wanted some tea. I might go back up there tonight. If I do, I'll turn on the Instagram Live. We're gonna see if we can find some street folk performers, and we'll cut to the left to the books. They are usually pretty strict with street foods and vendors that are unapproved. But tonight they're way more strict than usual. Because usually I would find a couple food vendors that aren't supposed to be here. But today I see no food vendors that are not supposed to be here. Here we go. One thing that's amazing about Saigon is their dedication to literacy. They do have the literacy street. Scope your tea breaks and food eating. That's, well. Okay, so I used to do that when I was in Rome. I scoped my tea breaks and food eating, and I spoke to people about my plan for the day, and I spoke to people about things I learned when I was going to different sites in Rome. But I found the payoff for that is very low. I used to do question and answer scopes. And I would say, okay, I'm not walking around Rome, I'm not walking into the Colosseum, I'm not walking, in Trastevere or Piazza Navona. Now's the time to ask me questions. And what I found was that no one asked any questions. However, I used to scope every single day, so if I run out of things to scope in my hometown, which is 2 hours away, maybe we'll get back to these whole coffee scopes, coffee time. I wouldn't mind doing Q&As about living in Vietnam. Here we go. We're starting to see a little bit more traditional Alizite. Those little girls are dressed in the traditional Alizite. Right here. A little cute family right here. The traditional dress of Vietnam. Bahasa is the name in bookstores here in Vietnam. There we go, there's traditional Alizite. I'm not quite sure if that's a question or a statement. Good idea, Q&As. I did them. I used to do them. But I just felt weird putting the camera at myself and staring at it and hoping that someone asks a question. Because I'm a teacher by profession. So I used to turn on the camera and just talk anyway. We'll see if we can get back to those kinds of scopes. Let's start with, I live in a very interesting country, so I'll do my best to just scope the interesting things. They do not miss the opportunity to advertise some of the wartime stories and some of the traditional culture in Vietnam. This is yet another opportunity to do a screenshot. You guys are just so friendly with the screenshots. Here we go. Old maps and cities. I'm wearing sorry. I'm wearing AirPods, so a lot of people look at me like I'm talking to myself because there's no cord connected to my phone. That's okay. I've gotten a lot of sideways looks. Guys, we are getting to the end of this street. We'll see who is here in about 3 minutes time when I get there. If you guys are interested, feel free to tell me your opinion. I can take a 5-minute walk to the Japan district. There's a Japanese district just 5 minutes away from here. You guys let me know, what do you think about that? I'd hate to walk there alone. Here we go. Another thing that they do censor here in Vietnam are the books. So you cannot find everything. No hard feelings at all, not this generation. Guys, Daro Satik, where are you from? Listen, I have to be honest with you. The sentiment that about Vietnamese, hating or not liking or feeling a certain kind of way towards Westerners is San Francisco. Okay, guys, that's a very American construct. It's a very American construct. When you come here, Vietnamese just want you to let the war go. Let it go. Now, I have met very, very old Vietnamese that still have some kind of feeling, but they're also keenly aware that I had nothing to do with that. So I would say the maturity level in Vietnam is much higher about the war. Oddly enough, in America we call it the Vietnam War. In Vietnam they call it the American War. There's a solid argument for that namesake. Because this is the war for Vietnamese independence and unification. And America just came and stuck their nose in their business. About Westerners today, most people embrace the culture. I've met very traditional Vietnamese, and they seem to be very, I don't know, just relaxed overall. Just generally relaxed. Thanks, really appreciate it. We're gonna try to get out of the crowd. I don't think there's gonna, other than just flowers, I don't think there's much value in walking forward. If all 8 of you want to stick around, I will walk over to the Japan district now. The Japan district is just 2 blocks away. See if I can get out of this crowd of people. Let me go, let me go. Guys, it's been a whole 10 minutes since I've mentioned my Instagram. I do have a lot of still shots. A lot of still shots. I hardly ever go more than, thank you Aquarius, I hardly go more than 2 days without posting a picture on Instagram. So if you want to check out more pictures of Vietnam, same name, Joshua J. Lowry. Instagram. It's in my profile. It's not hard to find. Let's see what we can do. Is that a live? Oh, there we go. Let's go to this live straight performer real quick. It's playing the super traditional music. Oh, look at this house on. you're so cute. Aw. Who's the guy with uniform? Hold on, let me turn around. I'm sorry, blue or green? Do you mean this uniform or the other uniform? The blue uniform is just hired security. The green uniform is tourist police. Tourist police. Oh, that's just a piercing sound. Let's get away from that. Oh, that's tourist police. Guys, the almost emerald green, that is, they will help tourists. They all speak English. They're here to help you. The lighter green is the actual regular police, the local police. And the beige color is their street cops. Beat cops. Traffic cops. And then you have a darker uniform. They usually have a semi-automatic rifle. That would be SWAT. Is this live? Well, I've read your question live. Does that help? Hi, Michael? Is it Michael? I've even pulled up your profile to answer this question, Michael. Michael, I've answered your question live. Does that help? Here, we'll do it. We'll do a live test. You ask me a question about Vietnam, and then I'll tell you the answer. How many people? 90 million. Does that help? Saigon has within 1% of the population of New York City. I believe the latest estimates are that Saigon has more people than New York City. What time is it? It is 10:37 p.m. We are 12 hours off of Central Time. Actually, we are... Is it 11 right now? 11 hours? Or is it 12? There's no daylight savings time here. I think it's 12 right now, and then later it's 11. I'm making my way to the Japan district. I figure a good hour scope is fine. Probably the 5 minutes to get to the Japan streets. If you haven't already hit the follow button, what are you waiting for? New Jersey, I'm 11 hours ahead of you. You hit the follow button, hit the notifications so you know when I'm going live. It is weird to scope because Periscope is much more popular in America than it is in Vietnam or in Asia in general. Yes, that's a very fair way of looking at it. You can talk about anything, just avoid politics. All right, am I the same time as Thailand? I don't know the answer to this question. I think the answer is no. Because Singapore is an hour off, isn't it? I don't know. I haven't done much traveling out of Vietnam, although I have done extensive traveling in Vietnam. The babies in Vietnam are so cute. So cute. That is a nice, fun fact for you for Vietnamese culture. If you have a baby with you, it is very normal for anyone and everyone to walk up to your baby and to pinch their cheeks and hug them and kiss them. 100% normal. It's like the community's baby. It's not just your baby. We are working our way past red light district. Guys, red light is not an actual district itself. It's just any building or any random shop that happens to have certain services. So people have this question all the time. Are there red light districts? And the answer is they are everywhere. Thank you so much for the hearts and the super hearts and the stars and everything that comes along with it. And the follows and the shares. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I hope you guys check out my Instagram. I cannot pimp my Instagram out enough because I know there's more content on there. However, if you don't mind fairly old content, I have scoped quite a bit in Vietnam. It's just some of them are a year old. Some of them are a year old. Offering certain services. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. Certain services. This one is Seon. What is this guy? Is this guy pointing straight at me? I guess someone ordered. Get on Twitch? Dude, isn't Twitch for gamers? I'm a dude, I don't play games. I'm a teacher. Not that teachers don't play games, but I'm a very busy teacher. The only reason I can scope is because of the time zone differences. I can scope late night and mornings on Periscope. I think to date, my most popular scope ever was 7 o'clock in the morning, right before school. I agree that Periscope is better, actually. I agree with it 100%. However, Periscope is, we're not going to say words like Periscope is dying. I'm not saying that Periscope's dying, but I am saying that when I turn on Periscope and when I'm looking at who's online and who's doing what, there's like 200 people watching someone smoke weed every night. And people that are just trying to show their bodies, and it's I don't know. I looked at other platforms. I really did. I started watching Periscope and I started scoping myself because of people like Jonathan JK in Hong Kong. And John Ho, which used to be in Hong Kong, but now he's Thailand based. Which, by the way, John Ho, although doesn't know who I am, I know who he is. He is in Rome right now. John M. Ho. If you want to watch cool Rome scopes. He's an Asian guy. He's really fun. He's really innocent. He's really sweet. He doesn't curse nearly as much as I do. Although I think I've dropped no cuss words in this scope. This feels like classrooms. Feels like my classroom. Oh, I thought I would never find it. Doesn't have a quarter of the viewers Twitch does. Listen, I'll try anything twice. Welcome to your first day on Scope, Ryan. Twitch has Ho chats are great. Well, I haven't joined a Ho chat in a long time, but I will join his scopes when he's getting around. I think Twitch is for gamers originally, for gamers, and apparently there's a section for things like what I'm doing. Guys, I am a millennial. I was born in '88, which means I remember the analog days, but I also grew up in the digital age. So when we were kids, we just played games. So it's such a new concept for me to pull up a video and watch other people play games. It's very... I can't get with it yet. I'm getting there. I'm trying to catch up. So we have... I don't know if you guys have watched, and I try not to point it out in real time, but we have passed several questionable service characters on this street. I was actually not aware of this. I was only watching which street that I'm on to know where the Japan Street is. Just to know where the Japan Street is. Here we go. Here's a different type of traditional architecture. Guys, I've never been to the Japan district this late before, so we're going to find out together what that looks like. Wow, they're not even trying to hide it. That was definitely a place to go. Haagen-Dazs with illy, that's nice. It's two of my favorite brands in one place. Hello, hanging with Mike. Hello, Al, on my first day on Periscope. If you guys haven't shared yet, share. We still have 15, 20 good minutes left. Shoot, if Periscope ever decided to feature me again, we could have an hour left. I don't mind going around. However, I will say it's hard. Just chatting. 10,000 a day. Well, you sold me into looking at it. However, I'm not trying to just chat. I'm trying to inform. And I'm trying to show you guys a beautiful culture. I don't know how I fit in at this Twitch community yet. Or if I fit in at this Twitch community yet. Well, guys, the good news is, after several trials and errors, I did find the right street. It's been a long time since I was in the Japan district. I've only been there a couple times. Yeah, I'll check it out. Guys, I've checked out Instagram Live. Honestly, I already said it earlier, not to cast stones on Periscope, but as many hours and hours and hours and hours that I've spent scoping, I have under 1,000 followers on Periscope, many of which are probably inactive because they're old followers. On Instagram, it took me just over a year to build I'm at 9,400, nearly 10,000 followers. So the investment in time it's paying off more on Instagram. However, when you run a live video on Instagram, there are some flaws. As soon as it's over, it deletes automatically. And they notify your followers. They said, we're gonna let some of your followers know. Well, I ran a live Instagram just the other day, and I had less than 20 watching. So I don't know what notify followers or what followers they were notifying or who, but 20 out of 9,000 is a very, very low number. So right now, Periscope is still the way to go. And I think I'm convinced to at least check out Twitch. Hello, Minnesota. Welcome to Saigon, Vietnam. We are making our way to the Japan district. Minnesota, I have been on for 52 minutes. So if you're like, what is District 1 Saigon like? You have a replay and a half to watch. If nightlife is your thing, yes, it's here. Thank you guys for the hearts and the super hearts and the follows and the shares and everything you do to support Scopes. As you can see from me walking around, it's pretty safe, relatively safe here. However, as I mentioned at the halfway mark of this particular scope, crimes of opportunity are what you need to watch out for here. Which means if people have a chance to steal, like petty theft, they will. So you need to be careful. Violent crime is what you don't need to worry about. I have never, and I'm not saying I will never, but I have never seen a fist fight since I moved here. I'm actually on a street that I don't recognize. Let's see if we can get to one that I do recognize. I also don't see that many car accidents or motorbike accidents, which is super surprising if you watch some of the traffic while I'm walking. Thank you for the constant stream of hearts, whomever you may be, pink heart person. In my life choices, I will say that wearing the shoes that I wore, I'm wearing some Oxfords from Allen Edmonds, was a terrible choice for today. Let's see what we have here. Oh my God, is she lighting up? Okay guys, this is the part of the scope where I say, where am I? All right. Great. This is me getting lost in Saigon. It has been a long time since I've gone to where I'm going. A long time. I see the writing. The writing is in a different language. I feel like I'm close, just not there. Yes, this is the part of the scope where I'm lost. If I didn't see people walking in taxis, I would turn immediately away from this neighborhood. But I do still see people, which is a starting point for I may not get robbed here. Guys, this entire area is the quote-unquote red light district. You have to be careful. You have to be careful if you come here. I've been talking for 55 minutes straight. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to drop questions in the chat so I can stop talking for like 30 seconds. One of these days I will invest into an Osmo Mobile to stabilize these videos. The weather is like paradise. It is 27 degrees Celsius here. Which I think is something to the tune of 81F. 81F. Sounds just about right. 81F. I've been living here 2 years. It's taken me a long time to learn Celsius and kilograms and meters. Like, I'm 6 feet tall, but I'm like 1.8 meters, which is an odd number to try to remember. Because we are definitely exploring new streets for me. New streets for me. This is a relatively quiet area. The conversion. The conversion is times 1.8 plus 32, which isn't like the worst number in the world, but times 1.8 is awfully weird. There we go, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, and there's still people. There might be a chance that I survive. Oh, I hope there better be some places open. If there's not places open, I'm going to be so sad. Guys, this is a real Japanese district. Actual Japanese live here. I'm sure that's here too. Let's see what's open. There are cafes. You can see some of them are closed already. But I think part of how it resembles the actual Japan is that the sushi bars and regular bars are just walk up street side. Even this is still kind of authentic for Vietnam. You'll be able to see the kitchen that way. A lot of places are, guys, the hours in this district are super weird. They open at like 6. And here we are at 11 and they're already closed. I don't know if that has to do with Lunar New Year or what. There we go. Do we have anything open? This would be the people that don't want to be filmed. Here we go. Authentic. Usually if it's open, everybody would the door would be open and you'd be able to sit and be right here. You can already see some themed outfits. I honestly have no idea what this place is, but I could take a few guesses. This might be the only district that I've actually seen working girls. Most of them are stationary, sitting in front of businesses, which you guys have seen plenty of in this scope. I have my fair share of evil glares. I think people do not want to be videotaped in this alleyway. I had a friend, a buddy of mine I teach with. He actually lived in this district. And he says it gets as real as he would like it to be in this area. I would love to come here. I came here at 4 o'clock before. No geisha sightings. Although you can find Vietnamese in Ao Dai near the church almost all day long. Although if I did see a geisha, that'd be nice. Let's see what we have here. Yeah. So I started to say I came here at 4 o'clock before. Nothing was open. And now I'm here at 11 o'clock. And nothing is open. Which is, I don't want to say a disappointment, but it's definitely not what I was expecting. Guys, we're actually going to leave this area. It looks like most places are closed. I don't know if it has to do with the New Year's or the time of day. We could try scoping this one again sometime soon. Oh, of course. Here we go. We're back on the regular streets. Oh, she does not want to be videotaped. This is hot out, hey. if you were here, I'm in District 1. If you were here and you hear this speaker playing this advertisement at all hours a day, including 2 o'clock in the morning, it's this one. This one, just corn with egg. If I keep walking in this direction, I will find the 81-story structure that they've just opened up here in Saigon, District 2. I'm still in District 1. All right, guys. I'm going to head back towards my point of origin. We are just over an hour in this scope. The lady that doesn't want to be recorded works at Happy SA Nails. I'll let you use your imagination what Happy SA means. If you weren't here 40 minutes ago when I saw this one for the first time, this is squid, dried squid. He squishes it right there, and now he's cooking it up. Hello, those who have just jumped in. We are at the 1 hour, 1 minute mark in this scope. So you can see a lot more interesting things in the replay than you can at the back end of this scope. I'm going to make my way back to the palace, and then I'm going to end in the scope. That is dried squid. It's like squid beef jerky. Western constructs have made it here in Saigon. Here's a Subway. It's not actually that popular. If you go into Subway during the day, some Vietnamese will try it just as something new. But they won't go back over and over again. Most of the time, you'll just find foreigners in there. Well, of course. Dad with cats. Well, I don't have kids, but I won't mind having cats. That's a good plan. Thank you guys so much for watching, and the hearts. And those of you who have shared and walked through the red. This is the red light district. This is maybe more red light than I knew Saigon had. I had no idea. Now we know. We're on Tai Van Lung. I hear this is an amazing place to get food. Still gonna try it out. Guys, I will say, if you come to Saigon, if you're like myself, I had a cup of coffee just before this scope. A cup of coffee, a siphon coffee. If you're a late night individual like myself, you need to stay in District 1. There's a lot of partying, but there's also a lot of places to relax. If you stay in a different district in Saigon, District 5, 7, 10, Bin Tan, Tan Bin, the different districts there are, they will shut everything down at 8 or 9 o'clock. The friend that I was at that cafe with earlier, she went home at 7:30, I think she went. She couldn't even get coffee. That's just a cultural difference. Well, hello, person that's spoken Russian. Though I live in Vung Tau, I don't speak Russian. Hey, buddy. Actually, it's not hey, buddy, but hello, buddy. There's another scoper called Hey, buddy. I don't think he's scoped in a long time. He's worse than I am. We are making our way past the street foods and back to the palace. I think we'll end this scope on the palace. It seems like a great place. Guys, if you've just joined in the past 15-20 minutes, I've said many times before, it is 11 p.m. I've said many times before, I am a photographer first, so I have way more content on Instagram than I do on Periscope at the moment. Feel free to check out my Instagram. The language here is Vietnamese. The Vietnamese call it Tiếng Việt. In English it's called Tiếng Anh. Although Anh means England English. If you really want to break it down, I speak Hoa Kỳ, which is like American English. Getting the tonal marks down is going to be a huge challenge for you if you try to train your tongue to speak Vietnamese. Tonal marks are serious. So if you have been here, which I don't, let me see who's in right now. No, someone wrote in Russian. Who's in here right now? Frank, David, Eric. Okay, no one from earlier. We have made full circle, a very long walk circle. But this is the back of Vincom Plaza, one of the original symbols of prosperity in Saigon, Vietnam. If you're gonna come here, you need to get used to the bikes queuing as such. 8, 10, 15 bikes across. Whether you're driving a bike or if you're on the back of a bike, you just need to get used to it. Guys, please understand, this is good food. If you find a business that just extends into the streets and has plastic chairs and is busy as all get out, then you need to stop and try the food. Don't be afraid. Vietnamese food is amazing. Vietnamese food is amazing. As we round the last few minutes of the scope, if you have questions, comments, concerns, complaints about living or traveling in Vietnam, I've been here for nearly 2 years. I do teach in Vietnam. You can tweet me, although the turnaround time may be a little bit lengthy. You can direct message me on Instagram. I use it as a chat. The direct message is there. You can visit my website and contact me, although my website is very bare bones right now. I've just converted the website from teaching to photography. So there's nothing on it right now. Instagram, Periscope, and my website are all my name, Joshua J. Lowry. The only name that is not my actual name is Twitter. It's Vietnam Josh. I don't know how many Joshes you know in Vietnam, but I'm the only one with the Twitter handle, Vietnam Josh. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel through hearts, super hearts, follows, shares, likes, comments. I'm from Orlando, Florida. Although the most recent place that I called home in Florida was Panama City. I do have family in Orlando still, Panama City, Venice, Sarasota, Inglewood. The more you... Well, thank you so much for that very obvious answer. I used to scope every day, almost twice or 3 times a day. I know the dedication it takes. Especially if people can count on you doing a scope at a certain time. Like 7 a.m. every day. The man that got me into Periscope, Jonathan J.K., 18 months. Jonathan J.K. out of Hong Kong. He used to scope every single morning at 9 o'clock a.m. I could count on it like clockwork, and I joined his scopes every single morning. I know. Let's see if we can get back into that. I'm a busy teacher. I run not 1 but 2 Cambridge programs at my high school. I do work at a WASC accredited international school. And my life became very busy when I took over the social science department and first language English. Hello? Hello? Banana. No banana. I'm toy now. There we go. Traffic is actually quite subdued right now. If none of you were here like an hour ago, but it was crazy. I couldn't even walk across the street an hour ago. Here we go, guys. We are back to the famous palace. If you Google Saigon, Vietnam. Thank you so much, Aquarius, for inviting followers. If you Google Saigon, Vietnam, one of the visual representations of the country is going to be this palace and the walking street that we're coming up on. Another visual representation would be Chap Bin Time, which is just 2 blocks in front of us. Actually, I will walk back to my hotel. So if you guys stick with me, I think I will stick with you. Let me see. Guys, I'm going to do the dirty. I'm going to do something really nasty. Just give me 1 second. Yep, I had to go portrait. Oh, I have 49% left. So that means I started in portrait and I went to landscape and I went back to portrait. Ew, 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 ew. Guys, I will go to the night market at Chap Bin Time if you want to stick around for 10 minutes. But that's my promise to you. We are 1 hour and 10 minutes into the scope right now already. maybe you can promise to ask some questions, engage, say, I'm curious, say, Xin Jiao. Oh, she waved. That's nice. Here we go. Almost all the street food you can imagine on a motorbike, ready to go at any time. Bak sao, hot mì lung, chung kut bun. Here we go. Meatballs, gavi and chien, bavi and chien. You even have some okra. This is safe food, guys, safe food. If you're hungry and you're in a pinch and you don't know how to eat Vietnamese food, that is safe, easy to eat, very easy to eat. If you come to Vietnam, so many beautiful wonders within 15 minutes of each other. This is the palace, one of the famous palaces. The other famous palace in this district is just 2 blocks behind this one. Fried meatballs, yeah, of all sorts. Squid fried meatballs, fish fried meatballs, beef fried meatballs for days. Here we go. It's 11. It's 11 p.m., Richard. Depending on which Florida, Richard, which part of Florida are you from, buddy? I'm 11 hours ahead of you, I think. 11 hours ahead of you. Yeah, 11 hours. My aunt is still in Kissimmee. Still have a family in Kissimmee. I was born in Orlando Regional Medical myself. We go to traditional clothing of Vietnam. This is Al Zai, a little girl here, other little girls here. The very traditional Al Zai is white. Guys, that's not just because everybody loves white, it's because when you go to the public schools, you are required to wear white. Wow. Well, the great audio comes from Apple AirPods, so I'm happy to hear that. And the quality is great because I'm willing to pay for the 4G. It's expensive, so a lot of Vietnamese still use 3G. I'm glad to hear that the quality is still high though, because it's obviously different when you're doing it on my end. I have no idea what you guys see. Here we go. Get used to motorbikes driving on the sidewalk as you're trying to walk. It's a little bit scary, just stay your course. Don't go left, don't go right, and they won't run you over. They see you, they just have places to be. Here we go, this is a normal queue. Oh, is that 7 bikes across, 8 bikes across? If you want to get around in Vietnam, you're going to be on the back of one of these bikes or driving one of them. Trust me, do the bike. You get there quicker and it's half price. Don't order a taxi. Don't do it. Don't do it. I drive a motorbike. I drove a motorcycle in the United States, but driving here is a little bit different, but not impossible. Here we go. Normal queuing. Normal queuing. This guy probably sells drugs or is part of the mafia. He is there to look and see what you have in your hands, like my iPhone. Lucky me, I just have an iPhone 8. They're not interested in my old phone. We are making our way, guys. We are just 2 blocks away from the famous Chut Ben Time. It also has a night market outside. So during the day, it's the 130-year-old market, covered market. And at night, they shut the streets down on each side of it and turn it into a night market. Thank you to those of you who have shared. If you haven't shared, share. If you haven't followed, follow. You will need notifications. My time zone is very weird. I'm 12 hours ahead of most people in the United States. 12 hours ahead. 6 hours ahead of parts of Europe. I never have people viewing from Vietnam. That's never the case. So I do scope at weird times today. I do try to keep it on the polars, either in the morning 6 or 7 a.m. or at night between 7 and 10 p.m. your time. Right now I know it's coming up on lunchtime for a lot of you. Let's see here. Hello, Sergio. We're making our way to the famous Chut Ben Time, 130-year-old market. It's been here in one form or the other, downtown Saigon. It burned down at one point. They've rebuilt. I actually, guys, if you're interested in that kind of thing, I scoped it this morning. I went through the market, inside the market. So if you're like, oh my God, what's that like? Just go to this morning scope on the replay reel. All right, these guys are not interested in my phone, but they've been walking behind me for like 10 blocks, which is really creepy. Guys, cars will optionally, I said optionally, stop at red lights. Very optionally. So you just gotta learn how to cross. Thank you all, 16 live. If you want to share with your friends, we're gonna scope for 10 or 15 more minutes. If there's still 16, I'll scope for another 20 and I'll show you a famous park. Don't worry, I'm not going out of my way. I am making my way back to the hotel. I am wearing some pretty nice Evelyn shoes. Guys, if you want a live broadcast, don't walk 5 miles in these. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. These are great work shoes, great teacher shoes, not great walk around the city shoes. Don't be like me. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Okay. So they passed by me, stared at me, and now they're walking as slow as ever loving possible. Here we go. There are some odd behaviors by locals. They'll get in your personal business, look over your shoulder on your phone. Here we go. You see those lights in the distance? That is the famous night market. Hello, Connie. If you've just dropped in, or if you haven't got off any of your questions, feel free to interrupt me talking. That's fine. I'm glad to answer any questions about Vietnam. Any questions at all. I do live and teach here. I live in a city 2 hours away. 2.5 hours away. 2.5 hours away. I live in a beach town. Littered? Yeah, but they will be cleaned by the morning. They'll be cleaned by the morning. They're still swept by hand. They'll come out in about an hour. Dean, are you back? Did you leave? I didn't see you on the list like 15 minutes ago. Welcome back, Dean. I think I saw them on the walking street last night. They're selling stuff. They're university students. Which is odd because there's 9 million people in the city. Yes, you're absolutely right. I lost a phone 5 blocks from here. I lost an iPhone 7. I am holding my phone with 2 hands, don't worry. That's not like a foolproof method, but it's definitely safer than usual. I would like to actually purchase an Osmo Mobile. Back when I was scoping every day, I did have private followers. I would do private tours, take requests from them to show them specific parts of Vietnam. And part of what I was raising money for was an Osmo Mobile. As of right now, my Ko-Fi page has 0% to Osmo Mobile. Glue it to your hand. I wish. Lesson learned. Aquarius, it comes with the, we'll stop right here. It comes with the nature. I scoped all around the world, and I'm usually very careful, but I let my guard down one time. And that's all it took. Guys, this is sugarcane. Nuk mía. Take a sugarcane and they crush it. And fresh juice comes right out. You drink the sugar cane. If you're just joining me recently, we've already passed some street vending food. Guys, when you see food that extends out into the street on plastic chairs, that's not because they're poor. It's not because they're Vietnamese. It's because they have good food. That's why they're able to put chairs in the streets. For example, this is a restaurant. But they're so busy they have to put chairs in the streets. That's how you know good food. Try it. Don't be afraid. There we go, guys. Night market. They're open every night, rain or shine. Sunshine. Well, no sunshine at night, but rain or moonshine. It is extremely dead right now. They heavily rely on tourists in this market. And it is tent time. It's Tet time. New Year's is in just 2 days' time. There we go. We're gonna walk down the other street. I just want to show you one, and then we'll walk down the other. Walk down the other. This is the famous Chap Bin Time. Guys, I scoped inside of this market this morning. So if you look at my replay reel from this morning, I scoped inside of that market. Inside of that market. This is another Nuk Min, 100% pure sugarcane juice. They just crush the sugarcane and then they add lime. They add lime. Rats? Oh yeah, there's rats everywhere. This time of night, they're everywhere, everywhere. I gotta watch where I'm walking. I wish there was like an auto block function for corn box. There we go. This market is the way to go. I don't know if it's where I would shop for everything, but if you come to Vietnam, you at least gotta go to Chap Bin Time one time. Minimum. Minimum. It's changed since 2014. A lot. It's changed since I moved here in 2017. I think you're in for a great, pleasant experience. There we go. We're going to make our way past some fruit vendors to the other side of the night market. Oh my gosh. This coffee that they're brewing right here smells really, really good. Here we go. Sticky rice, guys. Soy. Vietnamese eat this on the go. See, look. They're on the go. They're going to get it. It's a great to-go food. Wow. I didn't know they were open at night. I don't know that they're actually open or if they're just like restocking for the morning. But this is the inside of Chap Bin Time. Feel free to check out the replay from this morning. I walked through Chap Bin Time. Vietnamese will karaoke pretty much anywhere they can. Guys, I will tell you, if you just learn, like any country, if you just learn a few words of the language and you remember to smile, then people will be friendly. People will be friendly. I'm looking for the Vietnamese food that most Americans cannot eat. Lots of, yeah, there's a lot of fake wristwatches here. I'm wearing an Apple Watch. I teach at an international school, Aquarius. I actually seeked out a job in Vietnam. I knew I wanted to teach here. I do not teach at an English center, don't get them mistaken. I would never move here for an English center. Durian, I'm looking for it. I'm looking for durian. Buy a durian? I can't eat a whole durian myself. I can buy a piece of durian and eat it, but not a whole durian. Oh, did I miss it? Do you see the pink pineapple? Am I missing something? Is that a pink pineapple? Oh wow, 71, 74. Thank you guys for dropping in. I don't know who shared or if Periscope is featuring this scope, but hello those who have just dropped in. We are at Chap Bin Time, the famous market in Saigon, Vietnam. Saigon, Vietnam. There are fresh candied fruits, nuts, berries, and everything. There's live karaoke Vietnamese music. Pink pineapple standard option. What? I've never had pink pineapple, to be honest with you, unless they just cut it and it's still yellow inside. Welcome those of you who just joined. I'm in Saigon, Vietnam. It is Lunar New Year here, just 2 days away. Tet, it's called Tet in Vietnam. We're at the 130-year-old market and what's left over at night. Looking at options that are available. In front of me here is the night market portion. If you want to see the morning market, I scoped this morning the 130-year-old market inside of this market right here. Just this morning, it's in my replay reel. I've been on this scope for just over an hour. It's kind of a late time to get featured. Better late than never, I suppose. Feel free to drop any questions you have about living and traveling in Vietnam. I will try to tell you what I know. I've been living here for 2 years. Thank you guys for the hearts. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the follow button. Turn on your notifications. You can check my scopes out anytime. I do. I live here. I live and teach here. International school. Here's the famous durian, the stinky fruit. It's not so stinky, and it's actually amazing to eat. Although I will say, one person eating a whole durian is a little bit much. One person eating a durian is a little bit much. Do I ever feel threatened? I didn't feel threatened. I love living here, McBeach. Do I feel? No, I don't. I feel way more safe here than I did in the United States. Here is smaller durian. Smaller durian. This one's called mango sting. Or mango. Mango is the name in Vietnamese. It's really, really good fruit. A lot of times it's shaped like or it has the consistency and color of a rock. For those of you who are just joining, we are at the night market, the famous night market in Vietnam, Saigon. This is the famous market, the namesake, Chuck Ben Thai. It's the one you see in all the pictures when you Google Saigon. I did scope it this morning. Are you talking about for love, McLeish, or just for the night? Because there's two different answers. I did scope inside of this market this morning, 130-year-old market, covered market here in Vietnam. At night, no, not at all. This is the famous Vitesco financial tower. It was the symbol and icon of Saigon for many, many years. It was an icon of prosperity in Vietnam as they moved into the 21st century. Thank you, those who are just dropping in. Feel free to drop any questions you have. I think they will still limit. They will limit the comments over a certain number. Whoever asked if this is live, the answer is yes, it's as live as it gets. Not many people. What time is it? It is running 11:22 at night. We are making our way through the famous night market, Chap Ben Time. You have to keep in mind there are also not a lot of people here because it is 2 days away from Lunar New Year, or Tết in Vietnamese. If you happen to travel here, if you want to impress your friends, Chúc mừng năm mới is how you say Happy New Year's in Vietnamese. You can find touristy things, clothes of all sorts, fake bags, coffees. You can even eat in this market at this time of night. Yes, tomorrow I'm in the opposite time zone. Green, sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it actually says made in Vietnam. Sometimes they try to front and say it was made somewhere else. Cua tay. I think tay is hand. Tay? I have no idea what that stands for. Cool. It's like saying my hand. My hand. There we go. Here's another famous tropical fruit. I think the American, I live in a beach town 2 hours away from here called Vũng Tàu. I think the English name is Rumbutan. Here they call it chum chum. Chum chum. Also a form of plum, it's really good. This one's called ngan, which we call long ngan. Long ngan. It's really good. These are all tropical fruits. You can buy for $1 to $2 per kilo. Don't know? Yeah, there's dragon fruit. I kind of skipped over that one. I don't know why you can't hear. Do other people hear? Can other people hear me? This is the famous saurium, or they call it sticky fruits. Durian. Sticky fruits. It's really good, guys. I recommend trying durian and avocado smoothie. Durian and avocado smoothie. Just in the distance here will be a flower market, guys. It is in celebration of Lunar New Year, which is 2 days away. That is the name in Vietnamese. Thank you for everyone that has stopped in. That fruit could be used as a weapon. Green, it's a fun story. One of the scariest experiences I've ever had was going to a farm that sold that one and the other one, mint. Are the clothes cheaper? Relatively cheaper if you know how to haggle. They will try to charge you double here. You need to know how to haggle. Speaking Vietnamese helps. I started to say one of the scariest experiences I had was going to a farm that sells jackfruit and the stinky fruit, durian. Because the jackfruit gets up to 50 pounds, 50 pounds. That will kill you if it falls on your head. And I'm not exaggerating, it will literally kill you. There we go, guys. Here's another street food. This one's sticky rice. Called soy. Soy. You live in a snowman? She says it was 30,000 BND. It's about $1.50. Guys, we're gonna have a little bit of a dark moment here. We are making our way down the street to one of the famous parks here, which is full of displays of flowers and traditional artwork for the Lunar New Year. This would be a great time to ask any questions you have about Vietnam. I have lived here for nearly 2 years. Nearly 2 years. I really appreciate the hearts. Yeah, sure. They have those. Appreciate the hearts, super hearts, shares, and follows. It's always nice to have support for the channel. What do they do for New Year's? Well, they visit family. They give lucky money. They eat certain traditional foods. And they gamble. Gamble. A lot of gambling. There you go. Traditional flowers. That light is actually originally from central Vietnam. I'm in southern Vietnam. Those lights you see in the distance on the front left. Why, hello. Best time of year to visit. The weather is not the same all year. Right now is the best time to visit. McLeach, I don't know where casino is. Right now is the best time of year to visit. January and February. It's a beautiful city. Is there like a hood out there? We walked through the hood earlier. If you go to this, I've been on this scope for 1 hour and 32 minutes. If you go back to the 27, 28 minute mark, I was in the hood. Serious question, do you see a lot of 50-ish mixed Asian Americans? No, I do not. Green, we've passed probably 100 massage parlors since this scope. War babies? No, I don't. I don't see a lot of war babies. It is a hustling city, yes. Guys, if you come here, you can travel by car if you want to. You can rent a car if you want to. But do you see how convenient it is to just drive your motorbike right up on the street? Now you say that's kind of primitive and ghetto and whatever you want to say about it. But when you live here, this is a way of life. I drive a motorbike. I don't drive this kind of motorbike. I drive this kind of motorbike right here. $2 bills is a great Lisi. Lisi is the name of the money, lucky money. I drive this kind of motorbike in my hometown. I don't have it here with me in the city. But see how convenient that is? How convenient that is? You gotta get a motorbike. It's a must. You must do it. If you want to come and you haggle, you can haggle on the market. But if you see that, that's fixed price. You cannot haggle here. If you try to haggle, they'll cuss you out. Cannot haggle here. So you need to know where you can haggle and where you cannot. This person sitting on the corner with the helmet, that is called say I can walk up to him, tell him where I want to go. He will tell me the fixed price. If I agree, I get on the back of the bike. Haggle. We gotta find a different name other than dicks. Let's see here. Neek. 1 second, AZ girl. I'll try to remember that question. I mean that you can actually, yeah, he would probably sell weed as well. You can actually bargain the price down. That's haggling. Fixed price is not everywhere. It's not everywhere here. You got another difference. To answer the question, I speak a little bit of Vietnamese. However, if you just speak English, you'll have no problems in the city. Not at all. That green taxi looks sweet. That's the ghetto taxi. The green taxis are the ones that'll rip you off. Yes, if a guy sits on the corner like this and sits on the back of his bike, that is most certainly where you'll find weed. Or sometimes a girl. Guys, I didn't have a chance to focus on them, but did you see the 4 people on that motorbike? Dang, she is flying. The trick is to not hesitate and to make eye contact. That's how you'll not die when you're crossing the street. This is one of the main arteries or boulevards here in Saigon. However, it is obstructed by the construction for the metro system? Oh, absolutely not. They'll just go around you, Green. I drive the same way. I drive the same way. You have to if you want to survive. No, not at all. They'll never stop. My advice for you when you come to Vietnam is to bring good walking shoes. Good walking shoes, 1. 2, do not make eye contact when you cross the street. Do not hesitate to eat food based off what it looks like. Just try it. What did the poster on the pole say? Well, I've passed the pole, so I have no idea. I don't know. Let me know if you see another one. Seems dangerous at late night. No, it's way less dangerous here than it is in the United States. I used to do scopes in Orlando. I did scopes in New Orleans, Miami's. No, you need to make eye contact when you're crossing the street. You need to make eye contact when you're crossing the street. It's way more safe here at night than it is in those major cities I used to scope in America. Here we go, guys. This is the famous flower for 10th, Lunar New Year. It's just a stick and then it blooms. Like an obstacle course? No, because you don't zigzag. Do not zigzag or you'll get ran over. You need to stay your course. Do not hesitate or they will hit you. It's the famous tree for Vietnamese during Lunar New Year. Yeah, they're really nice. Guys, this is nothing. These are the people that didn't make it in the market. This is not the market. The market's in front of us where all the lights are. I really appreciate the hearts, guys. If you have not shared this, please do share it. Please do share it. Hit the follow button if you want to see more scopes of Vietnam. Why don't I? I do make eye contact when I cross the street. Hit the follow button if you have not followed. Turn on notifications so you know when I am scoping. Thank you so much for the super heart. Rhino, I really appreciate you supporting this scope. Miami, yeah, I scope Miami a little bit. I'm from Florida, so I've made it down to Miami a few times. It's going to be a little bit loud as we walk through here, because they have karaoke happening. I am downtown. This is District 1, Saigon, Vietnam. Or are you saying downtown Miami? Oh, okay. Yes, I scoped downtown Miami as well. I think my very first scope ever was downtown Miami. You want to check that out. They had to dig 111 videos down. Guys, this is one of the few places in the world that they drink artichoke tea. Cha atiso. Nói gì cô? Nói tiếng Việt? The Vietnamese lady didn't want me to videotape her. She didn't know I spoke Vietnamese. So the daughter said she's sorry. She's sorry. Oh, that's okay. You don't have to say sorry. I am an American living in Vietnam. That's a fantastic question, but I do speak a little bit of Vietnamese. So the lady spoke Vietnamese to me, and then the daughter apologized when I spoke Vietnamese back. Yes, I was. Artichoke tea is drank here. There are so many health benefits. Yes, 100% sweet personalities, and yes, I do date Vietnamese. What is my pay? It's confidential, but I will say it's comparable to United States. Did I learn about Vietnamese country and its people? That's a long chat. Cost of living ranges from $600 to $2,000 per month. I learned humility, and I learned to be indirect about what I have to say. I learned to be patient. Learn to be very patient. Because Vietnamese are non-confrontational, so do not lose your cool. Never. Come to Dubai. Wow, that's great. I'd love to go someday. Thank you for that. Here we go, guys. This is traditional Vietnamese music. It's not a great rendition of it. Is my school government funded? No, I work at a private school, international school. It's accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges in the United States. Listen to for a minute, guys. This is traditional music called bolero. Bolero music. It is live music. I'll stop for just a second. Yes, they listen to R&B.
nắng đang xuyên sao không tôi gọi mong bước dài kiệt là về đến con sao người gọi nhau từng người xuống người có đôi.
Guys, it is 11:35 at night, and this city is very much alive. Everyone is excited about the New Year's. Yeah, this is the traditional music called bolero. Bolero. Answering the question about government funded, I work for a for-profit school, but it runs the Cambridge IGCSE program. Cambridge IGCSE program. Seems the economy is a little down. No, this is still a growing country. It's not a first world country yet. Not too many Americans. McQueech, they're sleeping. They're sleeping. I am in the heart of the Vietnamese traditional visit. This is what they do before bed. A lot of foreigners don't get involved in this, but I've lived here long enough to appreciate it. We're making our way to see if we can find some of the traditional flowers. How can I get your grandchildren into that school? They're in middle school right now. You can apply and pay a few bucks. It's about 10,000 US per year. No, it don't. Philippines is disgusting. I've never been to the Philippines to know the reference. Here's one of the traditional flowers. My allergies doesn't appreciate me coming here. They also have orchids. I try not to overgeneralize. Ed's third. I do teach global perspectives. Yes, the economy has greatly and vastly improved since I moved here. Yeah, absolutely beautiful flowers. Guys, I said this in my earlier scope this morning when I walked through this market. A lot of these people, they rely on seasonal selling of these plants. So they invest all year. You could live off of $5 a day, comfortably $5 a day. A lot of these people live seasonally off of these plants. So they invest all year on these plants, and then they rely on selling them during Tet or Lunar New Year for sustenance. If they cannot sell during Tet, they cannot survive during the year. So they must be able to sell. Thank you guys so much for sticking around this long. Feel free to continue dropping in your questions. Here is one of the traditional flowers. Every single house in Vietnam has one of these flowers right now. Every house in Vietnam. For New Year, Lunar New Year. How can they be brought back to America? What's your question? I'm sorry, how can they be brought back to America? What do you mean, how can they be brought back to America? I'm sorry, I've lost the reference points. This is the one and only flower. If you can't afford to buy 2 flowers, then you're gonna buy this one flower for your house during Lunar New Year. Lunar New Year. And the second traditional plant I've passed a few times. How can you bring these back to America? You bring the seeds. I grew them. I grew these in America. In Alabama, of all places, I was able to grow them. Let me find the second traditional plant of Tet. Tet offensive. Let go of the 50-year-old history. Great travel scope. Of course, I live here. I enjoy sharing these. I really appreciate you guys with the hearts and the shares and the follows and the super hearts. My one super heart fan. Here is the second traditional plant of Tet or Lunar New Year. They will pickle these. They will soak them in water for months and months and months to come. It's the other traditional plant. The third traditional plant is right in front of me. I passed one about 15 minutes ago. We're gonna make our way back to it. It is a beautiful, beautiful flower. It's just a flower that comes right out of a stem, sort of like the cherry blossoms, but it's not the same plant. It's not the same plant. This is a beautiful flower. And the goal is for you to buy one that's gonna bloom right on Tet Day. They come in pink, yellow, and white varieties. I think yellow is the most popular. You see how it's bulbed in most of the flower? And it's bloomed in some of them. So in about 2 days, 3 days time, this will be a beautiful, beautiful tree. It'll stay beautiful for about a week. About a week. Do I ever go to the beaches? I live at the beach right now. I live at the beach. Vung Tau. Vietnam is split between Buddhist, Catholic, and no religion. It's your three main religious preferences. Buddhist, Catholic, and no religion at all. And then you have some sort of religion that sort of relates to Chinese traditional ways. I've seen this a lot. Nha Chang's just okay. It's full of Koreans and Russians though. I see this one a lot, although I don't see it at home. I just see them selling it quite a bit. Guys, if you're not able to chat right now, I think Periscope limits the chat to the first 100 people. You can always tweet questions you have about Vietnam at Vietnam Josh. I'm in Vietnam. My name is Josh. Vietnam Josh is my Twitter name. Also, you can direct message me on Instagram. It's in my profile. It's the same name, Joshua J. Lowry. My website is joshuajlowry.com. Feel free to ask any questions you have about Vietnam. I've lived here for nearly 2 years, and I traveled here extensively for over 10 years. I am a teacher here in Vietnam. I teach in a city about 2.5 hours away, right on the beach. Teach global perspectives in first language English. It is the year of the pig, so you're going to find your traditional plants with pigs. Year of the pig. We haven't seen any traditional Vietnamese ao dai in a little while. Traditional Vietnamese dress that you see in the pictures. We're gonna backtrack a little bit. We're gonna go this other direction. This display of flowers and antique gifts stretches for 2 kilometers. Do Vietnamese show affection in public? Absolutely not. I've seen people married for 50 years that don't hold hands. Public displays of affection are unacceptable here. See how this couple wants to hold hands, but they're not? Yes, we've passed several bonsai trees since I walked in this park. Here you go. See how this one's labeled 19 TR, which is chill. 19 teal is about 700 US. 700 US. Guys, they probably spent an entire year growing this. Could easily live with what? I'm scrolling and scrolling. Live with what? Why is what? I've lost. Oh my gosh, I've lost the context. Guys, I'm trying to carry 10 conversations at once. Live with what? And why is what? Licensed English teacher. Poet professor, what is your degree background? No PDA. Yeah, you have to live with it because people will never leave you alone. This plant's probably about a year old. They probably started growing it this time last year. Public affection. Yeah. It's just Asian culture, guys. You don't do that in public. Poet professor, what is your degree? What's your degree background? To answer your question. If you have a teaching degree, you could teach here at a regular international school like myself. If you have just a degree of any sort, you have to teach at a language center, which has terrible hours and no contracts. I work on a 2-year contract. 2 years at a time. I work at a WASC accredited school. It's accredited in the United States. Yes, they're absolutely beautiful, and they will get sold in the next 2 days. They will get sold. I'm so sorry if some of you trying to ask questions, want to ask questions, but can't because you're being blocked by the limitations by Periscope. You can tweet me questions. Poet, yes, you can teach here then. If you're licensed in Florida, then you can teach here. But that doesn't answer my question. Do you have a teaching degree? Do you have an education degree? Does your degree say education on it? No, it's not. It's about 80 degrees right now. 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius, or 81 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a teaching degree, you can teach in an international school. English journalism. You have a 50-50 chance of teaching at an international school. Otherwise, you have to teach at a language center. The difference is, I moved here on a 2-year contract. But if you come to a language center, they don't have contracts. It's not reliable work. Although you can make a lot of money in language centers. Tet is 100% the best time to go to Vietnam. The school pays for my housing, yes. Do they like to hire Americans? It depends on the school, McLeach. But my school is British English. British English. I live on the beach. I live on the beach. I'm in the city, but I live 2.5 hours away. My school teaches Cambridge program. So I teach IGCSE, which is one of the competitors to the IB or AP program. It's one of the top programs out of Cambridge. So I teach global perspectives and first language English. And I'm American, so that works out. Hello, if this is your first time joining one of my scopes, I do live and teach in Vietnam. I have not scoped in over a year until this weekend. I do plan on picking the channel back up. I used to scope every day, twice a day. You can look on my replay reel for open wet markets. This morning, as a matter of fact, I scoped the 130-year-old market in Saigon, Vietnam. $2,000. Thank you so much for sharing on Twitter, Joseph. $2,000 a month will get you, McLeach, $2,000 a month is way overkill. You don't need it. You don't need it. You can live off of $500 very comfortably. I live in an apartment and I can eat for probably $700 a month. And I have some expensive habits. I do own a professional espresso machine at home. It's one of my passions. I do own a professional espresso machine. A Nuova Salmonelli. I take pictures of the espresso shot sometimes. You can find them on my Instagram. My Instagram's the same name, Joshua J. Lowry. It's in my profile. You can find my Instagram link in the profile. $2,000 a month is a lot. That's 45 million VND. You can live a very, very comfortable life on $2,000 a month. Guys, at this time of year, a lot of traditional, do I have a scooter? I have a motorbike, which is somewhere between a scooter and a motorcycle. What website can I go on to look at housing? McLeach, I don't know the answer to the question. I honestly don't. I found it through a local real estate agent. Is it hot and humid here? Carl, I'm from Florida, USA, so it's exactly like Florida. Yeah. Furniture is relatively cheap. If you get the traditional wooden furniture, it can be expensive, but it's relatively cheap compared to America. Guys, I will point out these wicker baskets, wicker everything, traditional Vietnamese, wicker handmade items can still be made and found, but Vietnamese don't use them except for during Tet time. It's to remind them of their old customs and traditions. They don't usually use them throughout the year. If you saw someone holding hands, yeah, Carl, they like Americans quite a bit. If you see someone holding hands, that's not public display of affection. They're not gonna make out, kissing, dry humping, the stuff you see in the United States. So holding hands is about as serious as it gets. Hammock, pretty much anywhere. Guys, I think I'm actually out of 4G. I can see my video flashing, which is my way of knowing that it's time to end this scope. I hate to end the scope, but you can see my replay this morning. I scoped Vietnam in the morning time. This same park that we just walked through, and I scoped the 130-year-old open market. Do they still hold the French traditions? Yes, Rhino, but they don't call them French. They're so deeply ingrained in Vietnamese culture, they just call them Vietnamese. Thank you so much for the congrats. I do live here, Carl. I live in a town 2.5 hours away, a beach town. Next time, bring a spare battery. My battery's fine. I'm out of 4G. I have my spare battery in my backpack. Thank you for the super hearts, Rhino. I really appreciate it. I am not far from downtown. I am downtown, Roar. I am downtown. That's a very personal question, Edster, but I'll answer it. It's $400 US per month. And I live in a nice condo. I do not live near Da Nang, relatively, still 4 hours away. I live in Vung Tau, 2.5 hours from the major city. I saw my video glitch one time. Guys, are you still able to hear my voice and see the video? Are you still able to hear my voice and see the video? Yes, Carl, almost everyone speaks English. If you can still hear my voice and see the video without glitches, then... Oh look, wow, some of you are awake. Okay, then maybe my 4G is not bad. I saw a flash on the screen, which made me think my 4G is going out. No, I'll keep the scope. I still have 15%. Carl, I'd recommend it to anyone. It's an absolutely beautiful country. Beautiful country. And I just recommend when you come, learn the language and learn to eat food. Try different foods. My data is $8 a month. I get 15 gigs of 4G. How long can I stay with a visa? Carl, I have a temporary residence card. But you can stay for 3 months, I think, and you have to leave and get it restamped. If you get married to a Vietnamese, you can stay up to 5 years. I have a temporary residence card sponsored from the company I work for. This is not the park, Roy, in front of Notre Dame Cathedral. Notre Dame Cathedral, I scoped the park at the very beginning of this scope. If you're keeping track, that was 2 hours ago. I've been scoping for 2 hours. 2 hours. At the beginning of this 2-hour scope was that park. Yes. Guys, I don't mind walking around and I will scope as long as there's people. Can I get a prepaid SIM card? You can get you see this guy sleeping right here? I can wake him up and get a prepaid SIM card. Everywhere has a prepaid SIM card. Or do you mean for my 4G? Yeah, I'd have to end the scope, add the money, and to get the scope back on. Everyone has prepaid SIM cards here. Everyone has prepaid SIM cards here. Yeah, nice and colorful. It's beautiful. Guys, I do have 200 of you sitting here in this scope. I can show you one. Can I get a rewind? I can show you one more feature in this scope. It started at Nha Trang Đức Ba, the famous cathedral, Notre Dame Cathedral. I showed the old post office. I showed the walking street, one of the imperial palaces. I showed what turned out to be a red light Japan district. This is the famous flower arrangement that they have here. I am good for one more. Good for one more. We will end this scope. We will end this scope in about 5 or 10 minutes, and we will end on the walking street. The walking street in Vietnam. One of the walking streets. Can you take us to street food? Sure, it's right here. How long does your temp card last? Is it easy to get one? Carl, if you have a company, then it's very easy to get one. They'll sponsor it for you. Very easy. My temp card lasts 90 days. But my residency card lasts as long as my contract, which is 2 years. So my TRC, temporary residency card, is as long as my contract. As long as my contract. But when you first come here, 3 months. Here we go. Street food. It's on a motorbike. It's called Ga Vien Chien. Ga is chicken. Ca is fish. They also have beef. It's anything you think of fried in grease and oil. Anything and everything you think of fried in grease and oil. Also here we have plantains. Plantains fried. Fried plantains. It looks like they have some sort of sausage. There we go. These nuts. They'll put these nuts in dirt. They'll shake it around in the dirt. Hot dirt. Bánh chanh nướng is Vietnamese tacos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Am I leaving the scope? In 10 minutes I'll leave. If I lived here for 3 months, how long do you need to come back? Go to Cambodia for 1 day. You can come back. Go to Cambodia for 1 day and you can come back. Here we go. This is Vietnamese tacos. Bánh chanh nướng. They'll take all of the things in here and then they'll fry it on the taco. Hành minh tí. There we go. We're making our way to a midnight snack, guys. I will actually make my way to some food. Actually, we'll go to Boi Vien. Boi Vien is the dirtiest, nastiest, bestest place you've ever seen. It's the backpacker street. I don't necessarily recommend it for an authentic experience, but it is an interesting experience. Do I like bánh xèo? Yes, I love bánh xèo. Bánh xèo is one of the amazing treats here in Vietnam. It's cheap. A bowl of pho is 35 US starts. If you're a big guy like myself, it's going to be 48 US. 48 US. I'm sorry, 48 VND, which is $2 US. 48 VND, $2 US. We're going to make our way to a pho shop. That's where I'm eating. That's where I'm eating. Let's see if we're going to jaywalk a little bit. Oh, it's turned green, so we don't have to jaywalk too much. Thank you so much for those of you who have followed the scope so far. I do appreciate those who have shared and super hearts from my one super heart fan here. I'm going to request you to share it. I request you to follow. Yes, yes, thank you, Carl. We are making our way past the end of this little floral arrangement they have. If you come here, these guys will get you a ride anywhere. It's called Xe Ôm. You just tell them where you want to go. They'll tell you the fixed price. Also, a lot of times they will offer you drugs, if that's your thing. Because Roy, everyone lives this way. Everyone lives this way. They're used to it. I will say though, if you want to increase your chances of getting hit, stop while you're walking. You cannot hesitate. You cannot hesitate. You just must keep going. Blast him with hearts. 10 seconds go. Thank you so much, McLeach, for the suggestion. What brings me to Vietnam? I teach here. I teach in an international school. I love the suggestion for the hearts. It's a nice way of me knowing that you love the scope, guys. I appreciate it. We are at 12,000 total viewers almost. My last featured scope was 14,000, I think, at one of the markets. So you guys get to help Periscope out. They featured me, but you can share this scope. You guys can all share this scope. All 278 of you. 281, 276, 279. The number's moving quicker than I can say it. 285, 281. We are making our way to a crazy street called Boi Vien. Oh, we'll walk through one of these. Southern Vietnam, I'm in Saigon. We'll walk through one of these traditional alleyways to get to Boi Vien. Guys, I will not walk down Boi Vien with my phone in my hand. Would it be easy to get a Vietnamese girlfriend? Carl, it's as easy as... Carl, people are respectable here. It's just as easy to get a girlfriend here as it is in America. Periscope and Twitter are the same for you. Okay. Sadio Sabrina, thank you for that. Periscope and Twitter are not the same for me because someone already has... Yes, that's right, Aquarius. Someone already has my name on Twitter. Somebody already has my name and it's just a spam account. So my Twitter name, guys, is Vietnam Josh. I'm Josh and I'm in Vietnam. It is so easy to remember. Vietnam Josh. However, my Instagram, my website, and my Periscope are all my full name, Joshua J. Lowry. Joshua J. Lowry. I do photography under my name. One of these alleys surrounded by massage parlors. Yeah, it sounds about right. There in 1968. Wow, it's very different than 1968. We are making our way to the famous Boi Vien Backpacker Street, where the craziest of the crazy is occurring at the moment. However, we will not walk down Boi Vien with my phone in my hand. Guys, I need you to understand. What do I teach in Vietnam? I teach global perspectives. I also took over the first language English department this year. Yeah, Rhino, I agree. 100%. Every day I feel like I'm lucky to live here. Guys, this is a real practicing pagoda. Please, please be respectful when you come here. Please be respectful when you come here. This is a real pagoda. You will find these tucked in the alleyways. Can I tell you what? There are a lot of foreigners here. Guys, I'm going to all the foreigners right now. This is where all the foreigners are found. You are seeing people smoking Well, I don't know what they're smoking. Hookah. You see a club. You see Lisi. Total perspective, absolutely. Lisi, lucky money. Goisea, that's where you park your motorbike. Here's 50 motorbikes. What's with carrying a phone? What's wrong with carrying a phone? Down boys Vin? Because I don't want to lose this phone. What time is it here? It is midnight here, 12:01. You guys, I am hungry. We're gonna end this. Yes, I got my phone snatched in this neighborhood, 1 block away from here. It's the only time I've ever had a phone snatched while I was doing video. It's the only time I've ever had a phone snatched. In this neighborhood. I scoped Rome, Miami, Orlando, Walt Disney World, Las Vegas, Atlanta. I have scoped and scoped, and I never had a phone taken. Okay. Yes, I'm in the opposite time zone, Steel Man. Oh, so that means you're a Pittsburgh fan, right? Steelers? Better than getting shot at. 100% agree. I may worry about pickpocketing here, but I don't worry about getting shot. So I'll take pickpocketing over shot every day of the week. Yes, Steel Man. I grew up in the nastiest place in the world called Mingo Junction, Ohio, before moving back to Florida. I was born in Orlando, moved to... Yes, Dean. Wow, Dean, you're still here? What? We'll see you later. Yes, I grew up in Mingo Junction for 9 years. 9 years. Very busy for midnight because I am in the craziest of districts. Code Chiefs. Who are the Chiefs? I am an old Bill Cowher fan. I grew up on Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher, Jerome Bettis, back when the Steelers were still the Steelers. Although I can say I do support Vin and all of his antics. Personality-wise, Vietnamese women are more humble and they're more loyal. Safe for a middle-aged couple. Steel Man, I would say come today. Rams. Los Angeles Rams? No. Yes, it's safe for a middle-aged couple. We're not going to walk down, boy bien. We're not going to walk down, boy bien. But this is the craziness as it is. Bung Tip Nung is one of the foods you must try. Must try when you're here. Bung Tip Nung. Yes, they're more conservative in Hanoi because of the Chinese culture. Bung Tip Nung is amazing. It means grilled pork with rice noodles, lettuce, mint, cilantro. You're going to see Westerners on the street. Westerners on the street. Because this is the backpackers district. This is where Patriots. Ew. I've never been to Hanoi. Patriots. Ugh. The food is delicious. Bung Tip Nung is one of my favorites. I'm going to a pho place. If my battery lasts that long, I'll show you pho. Here we go. Money is very deceiving. It's very deceiving because I am in the party district. This is the party district. There are 35 Starbucks in Saigon now. I'm in the party district, so it's a little bit deceiving. Motorbikes are the way to go. If you are going to come here by taxi, Phoenix Sun's the brand to take. Uber is gone. McLeach. Uber has been bought out by Grab. I actually like Grab more than Uber anyway. Guys, motorbike is the way to go. A motorbike is something between a moped or a scooter and a real motorcycle. It's called motorbike. This is the type I drive. This is a Wave. I drive a bigger one. Please take us to club. I'm so sorry, not on this one. Maybe another scope, another time. Grab is just who bought out Uber. Grab is the way to go. Thank you all, 290 of you, for the hearts. The hearts. Hello from Mexico, amigo. Oh my God, you make me miss Texas. Not quite Mexico, but it's beautiful. Messes during the war. Well, this is a nasty neighborhood. A lot of crazy stuff here. Tell everyone Happy New Year. Okay, snap. 1, 2, 3. Chúc mừng năm mới. Chúc mừng năm mới is Vietnamese for Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. And now people think I'm crazy because I'm shouting Chúc mừng năm mới to my phone. No, but I spent so much time in Houston because of my friends that are in Houston. The Tet Offensive. Okay, Wizard, I have been scoping for 2 hours. But if you go to the beginning of this scope, it started where the Tet Offensive was. Yes, I have a Vietnamese girlfriend. But in my defense, Snap, I was dating Vietnamese women in America. In America. I've loved Vietnamese people since before I came to Vietnam. You was in Hue? Oh, Hue is great, but I will say that it's still a tourist trap now. Can we meet? She would never get on Periscope. Thank you, Rhino, so much for supporting the channel with super hearts and questions. I really appreciate the questions, especially. It makes it more interesting to scope. Some have scoped for 6 hours. I think my longest scope is 3 hours. I scoped Rome. 2 or 3 hours. 2 or 3 hours. What do I do in Vietnam? I teach DJ. I teach in Vietnam. I do not teach at a language center. I teach at an international school. Harmon, I live and teach in Vung Tau. Live and teach in Vung Tau. X-Men, Russians in the city that I'm from. Is dominant. No light signals. Absolutely not. This is Vietnam. Guys, I'm going to do a first. I have been scoping for 2 hours. I have absolutely... yes, Chúc mừng năm mới. I've absolutely got to get something to drink. Yes, Poet Professor. Listen, Poet, I am more of an Instagrammer than I am a scoper. I have 9,000 followers on Instagram. 9,000 followers on Instagram. So I use Instagram for chat more than I do Twitter. And the only people that stare at me are foreigners. Hi, foreigner. The local time is past midnight. I'm making my way to Pho. But guys, I have been talking for 2 hours. 2 hours. We will go back outside in just a minute. I need something to drink. Foreigners are always the curious ones. Nobody wants to videotape you. Not interested in foreigners at all. Pho is your favorite. What district am I in? District 1. District 1. I think there's girls under the false impression that I want to scope her. No one's interested in scoping you. Please continue. Yes, as soon as I get some liquids. Nice.
No habla con nadie. No habla con nadie.
These guys are really, really upset that I'm videotaping.
I give you my like.
Thank you, Danny.
Nice. Come on. Do I ever go to the French village in Vung Tau? On the hill, yes. Yes. Guys, I'm gonna search for just a second. Kondo is my favorite iced tea. Absolutely the best iced tea in the world. Guys, yes, the guns on either side of the Jesus statue. Had to. I'm already finished. I don't even know where to throw the bottle away. Wow. Talk for 2 hours. That's worse than teaching. At least students ask questions. And the questions take a long time because they never get to the point. Whew. Wow. I feel much more refreshed. So we're gonna end this scope in 10 minutes. New to my scope, of course, Dr. Kim. We're gonna shorten that. Well, that sounded like a gunshot, but it's not likely. Maybe a tire popping. Guys, if you get caught with a gun in Vietnam, it's a life sentence in prison. Life sentence in prison. They will clean this garbage up before the morning. That's why there's so much garbage. No, I'm not into that kind of thing, Lee. They will, the Vietnamese throw it out and it'll get cleaned up about 2 o'clock in the morning. No, not a gun. McLeish, if this was America, I'd be running right now. Running. But in Vietnam, it's a life sentence to get caught with a gun, so it's very unlikely to be a gun. Talk to a girl. For what purpose? I can say hello to a girl, but she's gonna offer me a massage. Who wants to bet? If I'm right and she offers me a massage, then you have to give me 1,000 hearts before the end of the scope. I'm just kidding. It's a guarantee she'll say massage. They have crime problems. Petty theft. They have petty theft problems. Police carry a gun, Cliche, but I've never seen one drawn.